You've likely heard the phrase, every day that you wake up is a clean slate. That every morning you have the chance to start afresh and to be the person that you wish to be that day. For almost my whole adult life I believed this, but I've since come to realize that it couldn't be much further from the truth. Yes, every day you wake up you have the chance to make different choices and take different actions that day. But you also have that chance in the afternoon and in the evening too. This doesn't mean you're a clean slate. It just means that you have the chance to change. But the thing that really puts the nail in the coffin of this clean slate idea, and it's something that I've covered in depth in a previous video, is that everywhere you go, you take yourself with you. If you move to a new town trying to get away from a situation that you found yourself in, you'll likely end up finding yourself in the similar situation, only in a different place. You naturally gravitate towards certain types of people and you have habits that are not going to change just because your location has changed. The same goes for ourselves, meaning every day that you wake up, you bring yourself with you from every day prior. You are not a clean slate. You are the culmination of your whole life previously up until that morning. You are the result of your genetics, thought and emotional patterns, beliefs, habits and ways of being up until that point. You're a manifestation of your own identity and what has shaped that identity. Now, I'm not saying we can't change. Of course we can. It's just not as simple or easy as waking up every day as a completely blank plot of land where you can build whatever you want. You have to deal with the effects of your past, good and bad choices and influences that may make it easier or harder to manage and build upon your plot. But you should build on your plot. It's prime real estate. And you can increase the value of it by scores, no matter what kind of current state it's in. The idea that you have the ability at any time to wipe your slate clean and start fresh is actually a lot more deadly than its warm, compassionate front shows. It pulls your mindset in the complete wrong direction and away from a crucial but hard to swallow truth. It assumes that you are 100% in control of yourself. And you can just decide at any point that you're going to change 100% of yourself. This perspective that every day is a fresh start that I picked up is one of those beliefs that I never really questioned. It just made me feel good about myself, but I really didn't consider or figure out why this would be true or why it wouldn't be true. Thinking that every day I can just wake up with a completely fresh start was naive. And while remaining naive is pleasant in the short term, naive people end up getting burnt, hurt, or abused, most likely by themselves, in the medium to long term. This idea gave me the false impression that I didn't really have to attend to the specific flaws in my character or the wounds in myself. I woke up each day just thinking I could think, feel, and act like the person I wanted to be just because I've decided to. Yet, as I went about my day, I would think, feel, and act pretty much exactly the same as the person that I was the day before. I would think self-critical thoughts, burning myself. I would feel inadequate and stressed because of my inadequacy, hurting myself, and I would take actions that I knew were bad for me, abusing myself. Since then, I've come to realize that everything about myself isn't as simple as just wiping chalk off a piece of slate. And I've come to realize that I'm definitely not 100% in control of myself. Actually, far from it. More like 5%. Science tells us that roughly 95% of all cognitive processes, basically our identity, are unconscious. These are the ingrained beliefs, habits, and emotional patterns that we've been discussing and aren't erased easily all at once. The remaining 5% represents the cognitive processes or identity that are conscious. We only control 5% of ourselves at any time. No wonder it can feel so hard at times to change the patterns of thinking, feeling, and acting that have become so automatic for us. It's 5% against 95%, meaning that you definitely can't change 100% of yourself all at once. But you can use that 5% of your 3, 2, 1. But you can use that 5% you are conscious of to gradually transform the 95%. Imagine your identity as a good-sized plot of land. The plot has virtually unlimited potential. You can build whatever you want. You can build whatever you want. 3, 2, 1. The plot has virtually unlimited potential. You can build whatever you want. It's in prime real estate where other people have developed their plots into highly valuable assets. But your plot isn't developed as well as it could be. There has been a number of projects to try and improve the land, but it's still not what you want it to be. Some parts of the plot might need a lot of work. The land is scarred, big holes have been dug, and old developments have been left to deteriorate and need to be demolished. How would a skilled and experienced developer go about transforming this plot into its most valuable form, taking into account that this developer doesn't have 100% of their workforce available for the project? They only have 5%. The rest are busy doing other things. They wouldn't be able to just magically transform the plot into the perfect piece of land so they can build their dream development overnight. They would have to strategically tackle one part of the plot at a time, employing the 5% of their workforce that they have available in the most effective way possible. And keep this in mind, the developer's workforce tend to get distracted a lot of the time. And when a developer isn't attentive to make sure the workforce are focused on their task, which can be weeks at a time sometimes, the workforce get hardly anything done. But when the developer is being attentive, it's surprising how much progress the 5% can make. With the right information and the right tools, the workforce can make good progress, improving the overall plot by 1% per day. And in 100 days' time, the plot would have improved by 100%. In this way, over time, the developer can gradually transform the plot into the highly valuable asset that it has the potential to be. Now, this analogy paints a nice picture, but what is that right information and the right tools that will allow you to develop yourself and your identity in this way? Well, to start, just like the plot, you need to gain a clear idea of what state you're currently in. And you can do this by looking back at what has happened in the past in an objective way and taking a survey of your current standing. We covered this in stage 1 of the Phoenix 90 life mapping. Next, you need to know what kind of things are important to you within your development, so you know what to include or not and don't waste resources. This is also covered in life mapping. Then you need a vision of what your life could look like once you've done the development work, so you know what you're moving towards. But you also need an anti-vision of your life to see what your life would look like if you didn't do the work and you let yourself degenerate. This will keep you accountable and focused on what's important. We covered all of this in stage 2 of the Phoenix 90, vision building. Next, you need the right tools to help you actually do the work and transform into the valuable asset that you have the potential to become. This is what we've been covering so far in stage 3 of the Phoenix 90, identity shaping. And as we go forward with the rest of stage 3, identity shaping, we'll cover more powerful steps to help you do this. And as we continue further into the Phoenix 90, in stages 4 to 9, this is where the real transformations will start to occur. While you can't wipe the slate clean every day, you can transform yourself over time, using the 5% against the 95%, improving a little bit at a time. But all those small incremental improvements will add up and transform into something incredible before long. It's gradual, sometimes painful, but infinitely rewarding. Don't expect overnight miracles. Instead, focus on steady, consistent work with that 5% of your conscious mind. If you commit to this kind of personal development, using tools like you find in the Phoenix 90 program, you can build a life that truly reflects your worth and potential.